What's up, everybody? So last time you guys saw, we managed to get the whole entire interior pulled out of the brown truck, or I guess the red truck, the B2000, and we discovered a little issue. Now, that little issue...
Big issue.
...is kind of a big issue. We didn't know how big this area was going to be as far as rust goes. You can already see we went ahead, cut some of it out just to see, I guess...
How far
back it goes, and you can obviously see we cleaned it up, and there's little pinholes and stuff all the way back here. So Luke and I already went ahead, picked up some of these bits here, which they are the
like
spot weld bits. And we've been drilling out some of these areas. So you can see here, we've drilled some of these out. It's lifted. I'm going to try to take out this brace today just to see how much further back it goes, and then see what we can use to patch this all in. And at the end of the video, last episode, we ended up just trying to discuss some of the plans of basically what to do as far as the floor pan goes. And we had three options. Option one was to swap over the cab, which you and I basically...
It would just be us two, and I don't think that's possible.
No, I mean, we'd have to completely strip everything off once again, lift off this whole cab, and swap it over, which we don't have the room in this garage, we don't have the space, and I think it's just gonna be too time consuming and too much work.
Yeah.
Overall, it might be a good idea, but after looking at the 2600's floor pan, it also has a little bit of issue, but that one is more savable. So, with that being said, I think the main plan now is just going to be to take that 2600's floor pan, cut it out, or I guess cut this one out, use this as a template, match it up to that, cut that out, and then swap it into here. We also discussed making a floor pan out of just metal, but you guys can see here it's like grooved and stuff. We don't have a way of making those. So I think our best bet is just going to be using the 2600, and I don't know. I don't know what the plan will be for the 2600 if we decide to put it back together or what, because I mean we're going to be cutting the floor pan out of there, so we may just do like a cheap sheet metal floor pan over there and not really care.
I mean, if we're going to off-road it, I mean, we could bedline the interior.
True. Who really cares?
Knows? I mean, yeah.
I mean, if you guys have any suggestions or opinions, let me know in the comments below. But for now, we're going to go ahead, pop all of this out, and just see how far back all this rust goes. So we are back now. It has been a few days since we last talked to you guys. I think the last clip you guys saw, we were showing you guys the spot welds and what we're going to cut out. We initially had mentioned taking out this front section. But like I said, a few days have gone by between my schedule working and Luke's schedule working. We've been kind of going at this, trying to get all the spot welds drilled out. And you can see we've made a little bit of progress here. We got everything basically out. There is this piece that went here. There's a little plate here. There's a spot here. And as you guys can see here, we've already started cutting back here as well. Now, I know what we had mentioned before was just going to go ahead and do this front section. As you can see, the rust went a little bit farther. We were finding like holes here, holes there, which rather than just patch them up and make them, I guess, what do you want to call them, like a little quick fix or so, we decided we're going to go ahead, cut this entire floor pan out, at least this section here, the driver's side, and replace it with the B2600s that's outside. We already went through, got all the spot welds drilled out of there. This has been a
lot of mindless drilling, trying to figure out where spot welds were.
Yeah.
Hammering, getting mad, hammering some more.
Yep. I don't know how many times we smacked our hands.
Yeah.
There's stuff you can't see, like where these mounts and stuff are. You have to get underneath there and try to hit them, and you're just going to hit your fingers.
Yeah.
So, as you can see here, we've got it all cut out to the certain point that we want. All this is just kind of, I mean, this is mangled just because it's all rust. So basically what I think the plan of attack is going to be is go ahead, grind this off here, cut this down to here so we don't hit the mount, and then take like a Sawzall and just run along here. Because as you can see, the metal from here over looks to be okay. I don't have any issues with that. It's just all this is pretty bad. Same thing following over here. We'll just go along this edge up to here, and this will all stay, I guess it's like 2-finger gap. Same thing up here. This lip will stay here. Maybe just a little bit of this edge, just hang over. Come over here. You guys can already see we cut this out. We're going to leave this here and take the new piece, the red one, and overhang it. So we'll just overlap here. Transmission tunnel, cut it out to about there. Take the other one, cut it out just a little bit bigger so it has overhang, comes up to there. And then we should just be able to set it in here on place, or over place of it. So basically I think we're just going to weld that in. We do have...
We have panel bond.
We have panel bond,
sealer,
all that. Panel bond will mostly be around like where the transmission tunnel is, just to help seal it in. It's just as strong as a weld, if not stronger. And then it'll help seal in to keep out any moisture, any rust from reoccurring.
We'll probably undercoat too.
Undercoat, pour 15. We'll probably do all that stuff.
We're gonna do whole 9 yards.
But as you guys can see here, we've been working away at this, trying to get this done, and we are finally at the stage where it is now time to cut it out. So with that being said, I think let's go ahead and jump into this and get this floor pan finished off and cut all the way out. Okay, so the floor pan is cut out. Ooh.
Some snaps. Ooh.
Look at that.
Wow.
That's so weird. Now you are definitely a Flintstone.
You can see everything. There's our exhaust.
Yeah. Coloring looks sick. Alright, so it's out. We got a little bit of cleaning up to do here. We got to trim out some of these edges and stuff, and obviously like clean up around there. This stuff is really sharp. I should probably be wearing gloves.
Yeah, we should.
But honestly, if you really wanted to, we could go ahead and hit the frame a little bit with some 415.
I mean, I got some extra brushes. Why
You
not?
can see right there, like, I'm glad we didn't like use a cutoff wheel
Up
top
in there?
You can see where the e-brake lines are and stuff.
I didn't realize how close that stuff was.
Yep. So we didn't hit any of that stuff. And up here in the transom and stuff, we did good around.
I guess I don't know if you can
Really see it too well.
see it too well here.
So yeah, I think now we can go ahead, clean this up a little bit. We'll go outside, we'll cut out the 2600s, and then bring you guys back once we're ready to set it all back in. Okay, so you guys can see we got our floor pan cut out. Everything is prepped and ready to go. It's all ground down. It's all trimmed up to the proper size that we need. And then you guys can see here, we have the 2600 floor pan cut out as well. Now this has all been prepped up as well. We have it cut to size, so we know this is going to fit. The only thing that we need to do next is go ahead, put it in the truck, make sure everything lines up properly where we need it to be, and then we'll take some self-tapper screws and just go around the edge to hold it in place, and we can hammer it down to make sure we have the correct specifications that we need it to be. Once that is completed, we will be able to take some panel bonding adhesive, go around on the bare steel and apply it, put this 2600 floor pan in the truck with panel bond adhesive, and basically glue it into the truck. Now, once this cures up, I believe it takes 24 hours for this stuff to fully set up. We'll take the self-tapper screws out after, like I said, totally cured, and weld each one of those holes shut. So it'll have 2 layers of like strength. It'll have the panel bonding adhesive as well as a spot weld to hold it together. So for now, I guess let's go ahead, set this in there, make sure it all fits, and start drilling our holes. There you guys can see, we got it set in place here. Lines are pretty good. You can see we like kind of drew a line there to see exactly where it's going to set up, but it seems to fit pretty well. So give you guys kind of a look out here. This is basically what it's going to look like when it's done. So yeah, what the plan is, so you can see how this kind of flexes away. We're just going to drill holes through here, 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 and then take the self-tapper screws and just hold it together. So this is going to be like a clamping force. So when we do apply the panel bond, it'll just squeeze it together. Okay, so basically you guys get the idea there. You can see we're just kind of self-tapping them in there, obviously using a pilot hole to start it. But yeah, it's getting pretty secure. You can see it lines up. I still need to do this edge and that front half, but you can see how this is lifted up a little bit. So we're going to need to put a couple self-tappers down here to hold it, and then basically kind of hammer this down so it all sets in place. But it is coming together. So once we get this all set in, we'll bring you guys back and get ready to do the panel bond. As you guys can see now, we managed to get the floor pan in, everything's screwed in and how it is supposed to be. We just pretty much have this, I guess, mocked up for now so we can be able to see, I guess, get everything into place. So our next step up is going to be to take all the screws out and the floor pan and then go ahead and glue it in. I'll go ahead and give you guys kind of a quick look, just how tight everything is. With everything nice and flush. I don't know how well you guys can see up there by the firewall, but it is all in place and ready to be set. So with that said, let's go ahead, pop all these screws out and get this thing glued in. Now you guys can see we got the floor pan removed. All the holes and stuff from where the screws are still in place. So when we go to put the floor pan back in here, it'll line up properly. But we got it all cleaned up, wax and grease removed. Same thing with the floor pan we have set here. It is all ground down to bare steel, nice and clean, ready to go. So we're gonna go ahead and glue it in now. Here is the stuff I've been talking about. It's 3M panel bond. You need this as well as the gun to be able to use it. I'll be sure to link both this stuff in the description if you guys are interested in this. But this stuff is awesome. I've used this plenty of times. And basically, when we go to do this, we're just gonna put the tube in, squish it out, and we're probably gonna like pinch off like the first 2 inches of it because it's usually unmixed. We want to have a nice mixture so it will bond and work properly. But all we're going to do is just go around the edges here with it. We'll probably take some rubber gloves and just kind of smooth it all out. And then take the floor pan, put it on top, put the screws in, and it should squeeze it. And there'll probably be a little bit that squishes out, which is fine. We'll just go ahead and wipe that up. But for now, let's go ahead and get this all set in and put together. Now you guys can see we managed to get the floor pan completed. It's done, it's in. We have to let this stuff set up and cure for 24 hours, but you can basically see how it's like squished out. We took our gloves and just kind of smoothed out the edges. That way it's not like just a big glob of it. But once this stuff fully sets up in 24 hours time, we'll go ahead, pull each one of the screws out, weld all of those shut. We still have to do seam sealer, pour 15, as well as welding each one of these braces. So for now, we're going to be waiting. Like I said, this takes 24 hours to cure up. So we'll find something else to do in the meantime, but when it is cured up, we will bring you guys back and get back to work. Well, it's been 24 hours now. We got the floor pan in and it is fully cured up. I've already gone ahead. I've taken out the screws that was clamping it down. So as you can see, the panel bond is good. Everything is going to be held up just fine. But I think what we're going to go ahead and do next is each one of these holes, I already ground them down. We're going to go ahead and spot weld them shut. And basically what that's going to do is also connect to the metal behind here and the metal where this was setting, and just create an extra layer of strength to hold it in there. Not that I don't trust the panel bond, but I'd rather just have a little bit extra support. So we'll go ahead, like I said, spot weld each one of these holes, and then also here where the cab mounts are, we'll get that back to welded in just like how it was from the factory and get this completed. Once that's done, we can go ahead and throw in our braces and get those welded in as well. So you guys can see here we got our spot welds all in. Not too bad of a job, not the best, but they'll hold up. I think they look pretty good. We'll probably grind down a few of them just to make it more flush and flat, but yeah, I'm happy with the way it is. So next up, we'll go ahead and get our floor pan ready for the braces and stuff to go in here and get those welded in. So we finally got the floor pan all completed. It's been hours and hours of just welding, and here it is. You guys can see everything is all buttoned up and in. It's not completed by any means, but it is all in place where it needs to be. We got this back brace here, this one here, the seat mount bracket there, and all the front stuff. That little plate up here in the front, that was awful. That thing probably took the most amount of time to weld in, and it wasn't necessarily the same shape. I don't know if like there's a difference between the 2600 and 2000 on floor pans, but that little plate right here was just, it was just a little off. But as you guys can see, we managed to get it in. And then as far as like this section here, we never really discussed it too much. We just kind of jumped in and just started welding it just because it was such a long, tedious process. But this one here, in order to get it lined up properly, the truck came with factory bolt holes for like a bucket style seat rather than using the bench style seat. So we actually took the braces off of the bench and placed it there, and we had one that connected from here to here, and we're able to line it up properly. That way we knew everything was in line and parallel. So now that that is completed, our next step will be to, I guess, technically the next step would be to seam seal. but I want to make sure that this is fully sealed in and proper, just because this area up here, based on from what we've learned and from what everybody's been telling us, that it's really common for these areas to rust out, and I don't want this to happen again. So I'm going to do a trick that I kind of learned when I was at school. I took some auto body classes back in the day, and one of the tricks that one of my professors had showed me was taking fiberglass, like a sheet of fiberglass, and then taking the panel bond, which we use to glue this in, and just applying the panel bond to the floorboard. So like up here in the section where any kind of gap or hole or anything is, just kind of apply the panel bond all over, smooth it all out, then take a sheet of fiberglass, place it on top of there, and fill that in with more panel bond just so the whole fiberglass sheet is soaked. Take some wax paper so you can press it all down, and then just let it set for 24 hours, and it'll seal all that in. Now, I don't know how good that is, but from basically what they've kind of taught me or told me, that stuff works awesome. So we're going to give that a try, see if that helps anything, and then once it is completed, I think we'll go ahead and end the video out here, or once we get it done, we'll end it out there, and move on to the next stages in the next video, because there's a lot more stuff coming. We still have to do the port 15, the seam sealer, and all that good stuff. But for now, we're going to go ahead, wire wheel that, grind it down, and get that area cleaned up, and then go ahead and apply our panel bond, fiberglass, whatever mixture thing. So let's go ahead and jump into that and see how this works out. Okay, so you guys can see here, this is basically what we're going to be doing. We got the fiberglass sheets already cut out. This is exactly how we're going to have them set. You have layer 1 and layer 2. Basically what's going to happen is you guys already see here, we got it all ground down and ready to go. But we're going to go ahead and take our panel bond, apply it to the bare steel here, take our fiberglass, put it down like so, add more panel bond, smear it out so it goes inside each of the fibers, and then let that set. Same thing here, panel bond on top of here, fiberglass sheet on top like so, then put more panel bond on top of there, let it soak in the fibers, get it all pressed down. And I think rather than using wax paper, because I don't think we have any, we have
plastic bags.
Yeah, plenty of plastic bags. We've made, I don't know how many trips to Harbor Freight now, getting spot weld bits, sandpaper. So probably gonna use that just to help press it down, make sure there's no air bubbles or anything, and it'll just like be able to press it flat. And we'll let that set for 24 hours, and then hopefully that works. It all cures up. Main idea with this is just to prevent any kind of moisture or anything like that coming in, as well as, like, I mean, there's obviously gonna be like probably some pinholes and stuff from the welding. I don't want it to rust, and this will help seal it in even more than just seam sealer. So that's the idea behind this. I guess let's go ahead, jump into this, and see how this turns out. Alright, so now you guys can see here, we got the plastic bags pushed down on the panel bond. Basically all that did is just allows us to slide our hands across it and push down and make sure it goes into all the fiberglass, and then it also pushes out any kind of air. So we'll let this stuff set up and cure. I believe this stuff takes 24 hours. Once this is done, we'll go ahead and pull off the plastic bags, but we're going to save that for the next video just because I'm going to go ahead and end it out here. We've done plenty of stuff to this truck in this video. We drilled out the spot welds, we cut out floor pans, we swapped the floor pans, we glued them in, we welded them in, put in the braces, and it's just kind of going on and on and on. So
yeah,
we need a little break. We'll come back in the next video. We'll do the we'll check out the floor pan up there, see how that panel bond has set up, as well as port 15, undercoat, seam seal, and
cavity wax.
Cavity wax. So we got to do all that stuff coming up. Plus we have to do carpet, seats, dash, all the interior stuff is still got to go back in. So stay tuned for that. But for now, I think I'm happy with the way the truck is. We're going to leave this, let it set for 24 hours, like I said, and then come back and continue on. With this being said, we had mentioned in the previous video we didn't know what to do. We didn't know whether or not to take the floor pan out of the truck or create our own, and obviously we robbed the floor pan out of the 2600. So the 2600 as of right now has no floor pan. I don't really know what the plans are with that truck. I think you and I have been talking.
I think we're getting rid of it.
Yeah, because we've already taken everything that we pretty much want from the truck. I think there might be one or two more things that we might take off of it. But that truck's gonna go. I don't really want it to go to the junkyard or anything, so we'll probably be posting it up, I don't know, somewhere for sale.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll let you guys know what ends up happening with that truck once it does go or when it is gonna go. But yeah, I think that truck is pretty much done. I know we had talked about doing an off-road build or at least getting it running or doing something with it, but now that it's gotten closer to winter, or I guess it pretty much is winter now.
Yeah, we've gotten snow.
It started snowing. So that idea is kind of gone. We don't have the garage space for it, and we don't have the time for it. So we're just going to get rid of that one. Has no floor pan. We've already taken, like I said, everything off of it. So that truck is done. We're just going to keep continuing on working on the B2000. We got plenty of stuff coming for this.
Yes, we do.
So stay tuned for those future videos. But otherwise, if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.